We've got the Iron Bowl. That is taking place on Saturday. It's at 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central. This game is in Jordan-Hare. That for some reason, the ghosts of Jordan-Hare tend to get Alabama, when they least expect it. And this is one of my favorite rivalries. I think that just the intensity that this rivalry brings and the chaos, and like I said, anything can happen in this. But for Alabama, this is basically their season boiled down to 60 minutes. If they win, they clinch a spot in the SEC championship game, and they more than likely have locked up their spot in the college football playoff, even though they stumbled against Florida State and against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of feels like Bama fans' worst nightmare, right? You have your whole season on the line, and it's a night game in Jordan-Hare. That is such a mental
All
block
gods are
for
not happy.
fans. Yeah, like that is. I'm getting goosebumps. I don't even care that much, but I mean, this game should be really, really good because Auburn, true freshman quarterback Deuce Knight, he had his debut last week, and it was against Mercer. I get it, but he ran wild. He ran for 160 yards and 4 touchdowns. And if you look at Bama against mobile quarterbacks, Thomas Castellanos, 78 yards and a touchdown. Diego Pavia, 58 yards. Lenore Sellers, 67 yards and a score. Like, mobile quarterbacks have run on that defense. And Deuce Knight, you get a guy who looks like a wide receiver running around and way less tape on him. So I think that Deuce is going to be able to kind of be loose, be free, and be able to run around, which is going to be good because Bama's pass defense is the best in the SEC. So I don't think you'll be able to establish him consistently in the passing game. You'll still get some good plays to Coleman and Singleton. But I think that the big story of this game for Auburn, at least, is going to be, can we just let Deuce Knight go? And can he make a bunch of big chunk plays like he did last week?
I really think this is an opportunity for them to maybe change the narrative a little bit. They haven't beaten Alabama since 2019. They're bowl berth hunting. They're also playing in front of a fan base that is just absolutely clamoring for this announcement of who their head coach is, like the rest of us. And this is a rivalry game that is built on momentum swings and I don't know, miracles, right? And Auburn loves nothing more than playing the role of the spoiler. And I thought this was so interesting. It is the first night Iron Bowl in more than a decade,
Wow.
which I also think is crazy. And, both of these teams have some tension, some unpredictability, and I don't know, maybe even desperation for very different reasons. Obviously, I am so excited. For me, I think the difference maker for Alabama could be Ty Simpson.
Mm.
He's kind of carried this offense all season and kind of been the spark. How does he match up against Auburn's defense?
I think it's pretty good because Auburn's defense, they're 11th in the SEC in pass defense in yards per game. So that's a good matchup. But they have 11 picks, which is tied for third. So they're kind of a go big or go home pass.
Yeah,
And Bama is still very one dimensional. They can't run the ball at all. And
yeah,
we saw Oklahoma, whose secondary has just been okay, be able to commit to they're not going to run the ball, lock down these receivers, pick off Ty Simpson. And they did that. They've
yeah,
come over 3 times. And Auburn's defense is still very good.
yeah.
So I think there might be a script where they can do the same thing, but you also look at Ty Simpson's receivers. They've been really good all year. And the one time they looked really weak outside of FSU game was against one of the best defenses in the country in Oklahoma. So I do think they'll still have a decent passing game, but you've seen that script play out just 2 weeks ago where a defense was able to totally commit to the pass, not care about the run, and really cause some problems.
So, do you think it's fair to say that Ty Simpson is the single biggest deciding factor in this one?
It is either him or Deuce Knight. I mean, it does come down to the quarterbacks. I would probably agree with you that it is Ty because Auburn is probably not going to score a lot regardless, right? They're going to have to win the game defensively. So for Bama to counter that, you got to have Ty Simpson be comfortable, throw for 300 and a few touchdowns.
Alabama has struggled on the road, and they've lost 3 times to unranked opponents under Kalen DeBoer. How big of a concern is that going into Jordan-Hare at night?
I think it'll be I think DeBoer knows it, right? I think that that's going to be something that he's thinking about. I think the team will be thinking about it. So one of my biggest concerns for that reason is like, I think they're going to come out tight because they're going to come out like playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win because of all those narratives of going on the road as a favorite. You're in Jordan-Hare. I'm a little worried all those narratives might get to this team and they'll sort of be playing. They'll be playing tight, and they won't be playing as well as they can until maybe it's too late.
Do you think this game defines year two for DeBoer?
If they lose, it definitely does. Because you've gone from preseason, like this team can win it all, to immediately after week one, this team sucks, to now all of a sudden, oh, they can do it again. And then you drop your last two conference games. Like it would just kind of follow that same script of like, look, DeBoer's going to win us these games. Why do we keep losing the important ones in conference?
Mhm.
Why couldn't we have just beaten FSU week one? That team sucks, and we'd be in the playoff regardless.
Yeah.
Like I think it would, which is unfortunate because I think DeBoer is a good coach, and I think this Bama team is really good. But it'll be the second straight time where they just lost that extra game where they can't afford to lose. It's almost inexplicable, and it'll keep them out of the playoff.
Do you think if they win, they legitimately are playoff ready?
I, th- I mean, they'll definitely get in. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've been worried about how one dimensional they've been for a few weeks because look in the middle of the year, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll figure it out. Now you are what you are,
Yeah.
and when you start going against an Ohio State or a Texas Tech or a Texas A&M in Atlanta, maybe one dimensional is just not going to work. So I mean, they'll get in, and I'll agree with the fact that they are in. I don't know what this Bama team can really do because they can't run the ball offensively and they can't really stop it defensively. So I think once you get to a elite team, like you saw with Oklahoma too, like they're just kind of get pushed around, and I'm not sure that they can really make a deep run in the playoff.
So you mentioned that Alabama you think is more likely to play tight. So the converse of that is, is this Auburn team, because they have so little to lose, likely to be freer and looser, and therefore that benefit them?
I do think so, but I mean, they'll still come out with a little bit of, like, okay, like Iron Bowl, here we go, don't make a mistake, because I do think, we talk about John Summerall, Auburn having a lot of steam. I think DJ Durkin wants that job too. So if let's say Ole Miss does open up, and then Ole Miss calls Summerall, if Durkin's able to beat Alabama, he can just say, guys, I'm right here, it's fine, we're good, let him go. So I do believe that Durkin's going to want it, but that could also lead to some nerves. The players, like, they'll know that they're playing Alabama, they're the underdog, like there's obviously that mental factor of playing tight in this game, really, regardless. But I do think it impacts Bama way more. So Auburn should come out relatively, more loose, more free, more energetic, and ready to go.
So that Durkin answer kind of like parlays into my next question, which is, do you think a win actually impacts Auburn's coaching search and, the perception of this roster?
It would, but I do think that Summerall is still their guy as
Mhm.
until he isn't. Like,
Until
regardless of this win. I do think that it would reboost the confidence in their roster, right? Because I mean, this team is full of blue chip guys, and in the beginning of the year, like I was really excited about them. When you had people talking about how good this roster is, now they're kind of forgetting it because they've only won 5 games. You go beat Alabama, all of a sudden you're looking back at this team and you're like, yeah, those guys are actually really, really good.
yeah.
They just need the right coach. So I do think it'll shift the perception of their team a lot, but it won't make them no longer be interested in Summerall and for Durkin if they win this game, unless Summerall gets interest from somewhere else. I don't think.
Do you trust Alabama in a tight, emotional rivalry game more than you trust Auburn's ability to kind of rise to the moment?
That's an awesome question. I don't know how much I trust Bama because we've seen them fall short of this mark under the board, right, several times, and the kicking woes are real. Like if this comes down to Contalti having to make a field goal and Jordan Hare in the fourth quarter, I don't like that one bit. And I do think that with the way this you've seen this rivalry go and how talented Auburn is, like they should be good to get up and give a really good effort. So I think I trust Bama significantly less in this spot just because of all the factors that we talked about.
So then would it be fair to say that this game is closer than the rankings and the records suggest?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the line's at like 5.5 right now. That tells you all you need to know. Like this is going to be a really good game. I just hope that the game in the swamp is at least just go running clock here, anyways, and then we can.
Watching, like, I, I don't even know what kind of football that deserves to be on, like, Nick Jr. or something, in the swamp while this one is going on. That kind of makes me a little sad. Hopefully my game wraps up quickly so I can at least watch in the car on the way home. Okay, so give me your prediction for the Iron Bowl.
I think I like Auburn. I do think I like Auburn. Give me some, just give me some more chaos. Give me Auburn like 24-20. I think they pull it off. I think that they're able to force Ty into a few more mistakes because we saw them do it at home against Oklahoma. This will be a rougher environment in Jordan Hare, obviously. So I'll go Auburn to pull the upset.
All right. I could go either way here, but I'm going to go Alabama 27-24. I think that they finally excised the demons of Jordan Hare, but I'll tell you what, there is not a lot that I love more than an Iron Bowl, and an Iron Bowl at night makes it even sweeter.